Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys how to change the intervals rather, of raw data into a desired um, interval. In this case, I've downloaded the Spiders, the SPY intraday 5-minute interval data, and I changed it to half an hour data, and this is the result here. Okay, so let's open this up in a new sheet, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so basically the same data here. Okay. So for the headers here, I have beginning interval, closing interval, the open, the high, the low, and the close. So the beginning interval is always going to be the beginning price, beginning time rather. So the beginning, it opens at 9:30. So we return that. The closing interval is going to be 9:30 plus half an hour. Okay, so half an hour there. You might notice that I have 30 with 1 second. Let's change that to 30:00. I'll explain why I have 01 later, but for now I'll just change that to 00 and write 29:59 for this one here. So basically I want to return 30 minutes after 30-minute interval, so just write our closing interval plus half an hour, but I want to use this half an hour for the rest of them, so I'm just going to switch the reference here. Okay, 10:30, and then this allows me to do this easier here. So 13 is our last interval at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So what I want to do now is calculate the 30-minute intervals. So our beginning interval is going to be half an hour less than this value here. So hit equals this minus 29:59. I'm using 29:59 because if I write 30, it's going to return. There's some conflict with writing 30 minutes with these two matching basically, and it's not gonna count. It's not gonna include the actual 30-minute interval. So in this case, if I would have written 30, it wouldn't have accepted when we calculate the open, high, and the close. It wouldn't accept the actual 10 o'clock here. I don't know why Excel has this feature, but there's a way around it, and I'm just writing 29:59. It's not gonna come. There's not gonna be any conflict with it. So just switch the reference for that because I want to use that for the rest of them. So 12:30 to 13. Okay, good. So now to calculate the open, you hit index. So what are we trying to find here? We're trying to find the open. So go to the C column, which contains all the opening values, and then hit a comma. And then I want to match. I want to match this. I want to match this interval here, and then hit comma with the times here. So if this matches this one, then return the open. So in this case, 9:30 matches with this 9:30, so it should return 169.41. So we close the brackets, close the parentheses, and we have 169.41. Double click there. So for 12:30, our open should have been 169.54, and there we go, 12:30, 169.54. Okay, we're gonna skip the high and the low just because the open and the close use the same formulas. So again, write index. We're trying to find the close, comma, match the closing interval with the times here, and return a value. So at 10 o'clock, our our closing interval should have been 169.11, but as you see here, Excel calculated 169.09. So that's why I had 30 with 1 second, because if we change the 30 to 30.0 with 1 second, it'll actually return. It'll actually include that value here. So this matches that. Okay, so our closing time should have been 169.56. Here we go, 169.56. So far so good. So for the high and the low intervals, Excel doesn't have a max if function, because what I'm trying to do is I want to calculate the high within these two intervals. But we could kind of go around it and actually kind of create a max if function. So if we hit if we hit equals, we write max, open parentheses, and then write if, and then put two open parentheses. So if the time, and I highlighted the B column for all the times, if that is greater than or equal to our beginning interval, and then close the parentheses, put an asterisk, and then another open parentheses, and then highlight the times again, less than or equal to our closing interval, and then close the parentheses. So here we have, if the times basically is greater than or equal to our beginning interval, and if the times are less than or equal to our closing time, then I want to return a value, but that value is going to be the max of. So what are we trying to find here is a reference to our highest high, basically. So you close the parentheses, but it's going to run into a problem. It's going to give me an interval that is not the actual high there. If I hit enter, oh, I forgot another parentheses there. So accept that, and it actually returns 169.74. But if we take a look at this, there's not even a 169.74. So how we fix this is go to your formula tab, click anywhere at the end of the formula, and hit Control Shift Enter. It's going to return. It's going to put these squiggly parentheses. I don't know what their name is, but you could actually do that manually, or just hit Control Shift Enter, and it'll actually return what we're looking for. So in this case, the highest out of these values here from 9:30 to 10 o'clock was 169.48, and if we double check, that it comes back as true. So we'll double click or fill the rest of them, and we're going to use the exact same formula, except that we're just going to change max to min, and we're going to change the D column because we don't want to return the minimum value of the highs. I want to return the minimum value of the lows. So instead of the DD, we're going to change that to EE. So just if you want, you could just cut the formula from the formula tab and repaste it. But don't forget to put those put those lines back in, the parentheses again. Just paste it on here, and then go to your formula tab and change the max to min and the D's to E's, because we want to find the lows. And then again, once again, put in those lines again. It's Control Shift Enter. Okay, so the lowest from 9:30 to 10 o'clock should be 169.01. And if we take a look at these values here, they're all 169, so 169.01 is actually correct. Okay, and there you go. You just calculated the open, high, and low within these intervals here. And if you actually want to plot them, go to your charts, the open, high, low, close, and there you go. You actually have your data there. Okay, so if you want to change that, just it'll give you the option to do it more so you're more familiar with down and upticks. Okay, so there you go, open, high, low, close, different intervals, and let me know if you have any questions or comments. Okay, thanks for watching.